AEW All Elite Wrestling's All In show just took place this afternoon. It came on at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the States. I believe that would be about 5 or 6 if you're over there in England. And, Pacific time, I believe it was at 9 o'clock. I'm not here to talk about time zones or none of that. What I am here to talk about is some pro wrestling that I watched this morning. And I didn't know if I was going to do a review of the show. I didn't know if I was going to do a preview, watch show with some friends. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I got a wild hair up my ass. And was like, think I might do the show, man. So here is the SOS Wrestle Talk AEW All In 2023 show. So without any further ado, we might as well get into it. If this is your first time checking us out, first and foremost, thank you. We appreciate it. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. And maybe here in the future, we might have many more AEW shows to talk about. So I know LK, he's normally the one that covers the AEW side of things as opposed to me. But I thought about it. I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. Go ahead and knock it out, man. I just watched the show. It's fresh in my mind. So I might as well talk about it. And that's what I'm going to do tonight. So we all know, as this was hyped coming into the show, this was hyped as the biggest event in pro wrestling history. And they did not, they showed out is pretty much what I'm trying to say. They showed out. They had an attendance of 81,035. And I believe that is the highest paid attendance in all of pro wrestling. There have been higher other attendance numbers as far as people actually in the building. But as far as highest paid attendance, that is number one now in pro wrestling. So Tony Khan, everybody in this camp should go ahead and pat themselves on the back and give themselves a Barry Horowitz, because that's a huge, huge accomplishment. I don't want to take away from that, even though, if you know me, I'm critical on AEW, but I'm not critical as to where I'm unfair. I'm biased, but I'm balanced. I'm, me, New Japan all fucking day. But we can talk about that here, there, anywhere. But like I said, we might as well get into this AEW All Out show. Or All In show. All Out is that next week. We'll be talking about that next week. So let's go ahead and talk about All In 2023. We had the 0 hour. We had 2 matches on the 0 hour. The first match was one of my favorite tag teams in the world, if not my favorite tag team in the world. Aussie Open, Mark Davis, Kyle Fletcher defending their Ring of Honor tag team titles against a team of Better Than You, baby. That being Adam Cole and MJF here, the challenging team. They actually unsuccessfully challenged for the AEW World Tag Team titles a couple weeks ago. So Adam Cole put the idea in MJF's head. We're going to go ahead and challenge for the ROH Tag Team titles. And that's what they did here. They actually got the victory. Surprising the hell out of me. We got Better Than You, baby, getting the victory over Aussie Open in about a little under 8 minutes right here. They got the victory via the double clothesline. Kyle Fletcher sold the double clothesline like a freaking boss. I was upset because I want to see Aussie Open shine, of course, because, I'm a big Aussie Open fan, so I want to see them get as much shine as they can, and they did. They were in London area, in Wembley Stadium. They pretty much opened the show, so I think they're probably going to get the belts back here soon. I just don't know when, and it kind of depends on where they go with the Adam Cole MJF story post All In, and hell, post All Out too. So then the next match is a match of very much controversy here in the last few hours. Not because actually what happened in the match or the 2 participants in the match per se, but kind of what happened in the match and what was said towards the camera and what happened post-match here. So we got Jack Perry defending the FTW championship against Hook. Hook got the victory against Jack Perry in about 8.5 minutes right here. And there was a spot during the match to where Jack Perry looks at the camera and he knocks on the windshield, because they had a car spot to where he got pretty much fisherman suplex to a car. And there was a spot before that. He, knocks on the windshield and says, "Real glass, cry about her, cry me a river," or something to that effect. And that was, I guess, a shot at CM Punk, because CM Punk had said the idea of him using real glass in that spot with Hook was a bad idea. So instead of talking about it backstage, Jack Perry decided to talk about it live on, not really pay-per-view yet, this is still on a YouTube show. He decided to talk about it right then. I don't think that was the best of things to do, because post-match backstage, the rumor mill is he confronted CM Punk. CM Punk confronted him. I don't know what's the logistics of that. But long story short is he got in CM Punk's face and homie ended up getting choked out. Now, I don't know if he was in his face. I'm presuming CM Punk, if he probably shot the double leg CM Punk and he got guillotined. If you know about MMA a little bit, I'm presuming that's probably what happened. But I also could see CM Punk just snatch him up and put him in the rear naked choke. So I could see either one. But yeah, we'll find out what happens here in the near future. And I know I've been very critical or, I've been kind of giving AEW the roses here lately in these last few minutes right here. But Tony Khan, at some point, you got to put your foot down, man. These people are literally walking all over you, thinking they can do whatever they want, and they will have no repercussions. They might be off TV for a little bit. They're still going to get paid. You know how you hurt some of these people, a lot of these people, especially pro wrestlers, man. You take their paycheck away from them. You take their money away from them. Let's see how they start acting up then. Let's see if you start suspending people without pay or just flat out firing people. Let's see if a lot of wrestlers' attitudes won't just, tighten up and get a little bit better. But that's just my thought on the situation. And speaking of CM Punk, he had the opening match on the show, pretty much playing the Brock Lesnar role right here. If you know about Brock Lesnar on big stadium shows, he's pretty much one of the first couple matches most of the time. We had CM Punk taking on and defeating Samoa Joe here with the Pepsi plunge in about 14 minutes. This was actually a really good match, man. I was surprised that these guys only went sub 15 minutes right here. I thought they could have done a little more, and I kind of wish they would have done a little more. But, it is what that is. They had a long show ahead of them, and Samoa Joe and CM Punk will probably get in the ring with each other one more time, if not a few more times. So they got to keep a couple bullets in the chamber. I definitely understand that. So CM Punk pulls a move out they hadn't used in a while, the Pepsi plunge, man. I like this match. I thought it was good. Y'all know how I am about CM Punk, but I got to give the a-hole his due. He had a good match right here. And right before that, he apparently choked out Jack Perry. So, I mean, hey, doing double duty on the night, man. He's being security and he's a pro wrestler. So, then the next match we had, 6-man tag team match right here. We had Konosuke Takeshita teaming up with Bullet Club Gold's Jay White and Juice Robinson, Juicy J as I like to call him. If you know, you know. Taking on the team of the Golden Elite, that being Kota Ibushi, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page. And I must say, if you ask me, this wasn't a bad match, but it was probably one of the weaker matches on the show. And the ending kind of came off like a wet fart, and it went a little long, maybe. I think you could have maybe gave a couple of those minutes to CM Punk and Joe, but hey, what is what it is. So the ending comes where, I think it's about 20 minutes and 30 seconds is how long this match went. The ending comes when Kenny Omega hits Jay White with the V-trigger. Takeshita instantly hits a schoolboy on Kenny Omega, gets the victory for his team. And that set up a match for All Out, which is going to take place next Sunday. So we get a singles match between Kenny Omega and Konosuke Takeshita. I am very excited for that match. Hopefully, Takeshita goes over. I don't think he will, because they've made a really big deal about Kenny Omega being 0-6 in singles matches right now. So he'll probably get the victory over Takeshita, but I would like, if you want to, I think this feud is just starting, so maybe give Takeshita the victory. I don't know. I'm just talking here. Then the next match that I'm glad to happen. I'm glad these guys were able to settle their differences, at least for a few minutes. We have FTR taking on and defending their AEW World Tag Team titles against the Young Bucks. Of course, Matt and Nick Jackson right here. I was about to say Matt and Jeff Hardy, but Matt and Nick Jackson right here. Solid fucking match. Solid match. These guys, they have very good chemistry for however they feel about each other outside the ring. I can't really talk about that because I don't know about it, but I know as far as inside the ring, these guys have excellent chemistry. They work off each other pretty fucking well, and I think that's a good shout for both these guys right here. This match was ended, by the big rig by FTR. I think this match went about, how long? It went about almost 22 minutes right here. And the right team won, ultimately. I'm glad these teams are able to do business with each other. I thought the right team won, even though I'm not the biggest fan of FTR. I still think the right team won. And the Bucks are going to be okay, man. They're at this point, they're AEW lifers, I want to say. I feel that they're AEW lifers. They just re-up. I feel like they'll be with AEW for the rest of their career. So they have plenty of opportunities to get those tag team belts. I guess you can ultimately say, in the meantime, between time, FTR settled the rubber match, so they're 2-1 against the Young Bucks, but as we all know, wrestling is always ongoing. So next match we had was a Stadium Stampede match. We had Eddie Kingston, Orange Cassidy, the Best Friends Chuck Taylor, and Trent Beretta, and Penta El Zero Mero, with Alex Abrahan, with the I guess the assistant. I think not Jose the assistant, but with Alex Abrahantes taking on the Blackpool Combat Club's John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, easy for me to say, Wheeler Yuta, and they were joined by Mike Santana and Ortiz, and they got the victory via pinfall to Eddie Kingston and the Best Friends and Penta right here. A lot of spots. This match is fought all over the arena. All over the stadium. It's the Stadium Stampede, for God's sakes. I was interested. I didn't know if they're going to have this match pre-taped because of the, aesthetics and the logistics of said match. But I'm glad they didn't. You maybe could have forced yourself into losing the crowd and having that match go pre-taped. So I'm definitely glad they didn't do that. Shit was all over the place, man. You got Moxley maybe with the shot of the match with the skewer sticking out of his head. That was crazy. That was insane. Sue, Trent's mom, was over there. She came with treats and had the treats on cookie sheets. And they, please believe, did use said cookie sheets right here. A lot of people got bloody, man. Orange Cassidy gets the victory for his team with the orange punch wrapped in glass over Claudio Castagnoli. And this transitions to Wednesday's Dynamite episode to where Penta will be challenging for the All Atlantic, the International Championship. And whoever wins that match is going to take on Jon Moxley at All Out in a singles match for said championship. So they're trying to do a little bit storyline. They're trying to, have a little continuity here, but it's helping. But with two shows like that back to back, that's a rough sell for me, but I'll still be watching anyway. Y'all know me. So, 7th match on this card, because there are 11 matches. Good Lord. 7th match on this here. We had Saraya taking on and defeating Hikaru Shida, Toni Storm, and Dr. Britt Baker to win the AEW Women's Championship for the first time in her career and her first title in, God, man, who knows how long, man. Somebody look it up and put it in the comment section because I ain't really about to look it up right now because I don't really care about Saraya that much. But credit to her. She had an amazing moment. She brought her family out. She came out to Queens. We Will Rock You. I think this was more about the moment than the match. But the match wasn't too bad itself. Thought they gave these ladies, they could have gave them a little bit more time. But I thought it was what it was. Like I said, Paige or Saraya gets the victory right here. And there might be some dissension in the Outcast coming up here soon. So we should keep a lookout for that if there will be any dissension in the Outcast coming up. Because there might be. So we should definitely look out for that. Next match was just a match that was super fun right here. It was the coffin match. We got Sting and Darby Allin coming out to Metallica's Search and Destroy, coming out to Kill 'Em All, which was amazing. I thought that was a great entrance. Speaking of great entrances, Swerve had an amazing entrance as well. He had his theme music played to the ring like the star that he is. Love that. That was a beautiful touch right here. This match was brutal. Actually, this match was pretty fucking brutal. It was definitely different than anything else on the card when you were probably going to have a couple of no DQ matches. It didn't really hurt it at all. I thought this Coffin Tag Team match was pretty good. And man, shit, I probably said pretty good like 4 times in that sequence, so I'm very sorry about that. The spots in this match, Swerve taking the spot on the casket, taking the 450 on the casket, getting Coffin dropped on the casket. Like, there were so many spots here in this match that were just ridiculous, and I just know that they were very painful. So I'm appreciative for these guys going through this. But we ultimately get Sting and Darby Allin getting the victory. They closed Swerve in the casket, but his hair was sticking out. So there's a little bit hope. I'm hoping on Wednesday that he'll say, hey, look, I didn't lose. My hair was sticking out. So the match wasn't over. The match technically should still be going on now. I hope Swerve drops that little bit, but I guess we'll find out Wednesday. That would be just fun for him to do. And then one of the feature matches on the show right here, we have singles match, which I thought this match probably would go a little longer than it did, but it didn't. It went sub 15 minutes. We had Will Ospreay with Don Callis taking on and defeating Chris Jericho with Sammy Guevara. He got the victory via the Stormbreaker right here. Like I said, sub 15 minutes, about 5 seconds less than 15 minutes. And it was good. Jericho, he did okay trying to keep up with Ospreay. He botched a couple times, but that's to be expected when they're moving as fast paced as this. And Ospreay's one of the best guys in the world moving at that speed. So I knew Jericho was going to have a rough sledding attempting to keep up with him in that facet. And he really didn't have to do that too much, but the spots he did do it, he did okay. But there was still like, you can kind of tell like, there's a reason you don't wrestle like this anymore. And there's a reason that a lot of people, once they get up in age, don't wrestle like that. I thought this match was fine. I actually thought it was really good. I thought it, like I said, it would go a little bit longer than that. I feel the story with this match was Fozzy performing to the ring and Jericho actually singing, and that was technically a performance, I guess. So that's kind of a way to get a loophole of getting Fozzy to perform at Wembley. So yeah, that is what that is. But then post match after we get, and Ospreay came out to Elevated as well, banger theme. Post match we get Sammy Guevara trying to console Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho's just shooing him off. So he didn't really immediately turn on Chris right then, but there's probably going to be some fallout from this happening on Wednesday. So I definitely would tune in to Dynamite to see what happens there. Man, then we got the penultimate match of the show. This is for the AEW World Trios Championship. This is a no holds barred 6-man, no rules or house rules, no holds barred match. That's a lot to say right there. We had the Acclaim. Of course, we got Max Caster, Anthony Bowens teaming up with Daddy Ass, but not Daddy Ass tonight. He's badass Billy Gunn. taking on the champions, House of Black. But Malakai Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody Lee. I believe these gentlemen have held the title since, let's see. They held the belt since March of 20. They only won them in March. I swear it seems like it was much longer than that. Oh, wow. Okay, then. They've only had the belt since March, so I felt like it was almost a year, but man, I guess my timings is way off. Anywho, even though it was just a year. Or not even, just a few months. We got the Acclaimed getting a victory here. Little under 11 minutes. Brody Lee looked like a monster right here. The House of Black actually did a nice tribute to William Rotunda, to Bray Wyatt. I thought that was pretty cool. Anthony Bowens scissored Julia Hart, which is a funny thing to say, but you just kind of have to see it. I thought that was interesting. And I was like, oh man, I can already hear people on Twitter losing their minds about this. And of course, they're going to. And then some did. So that match was fun. You got the Acclaim picking up the W for their team, getting the trios titles, and then, as a sign of respect, the House of Black hands them the belts over to be like, hey, you beat us, these are yours. So, thought that was pretty cool. It was kind of almost babyface-like from the House of Black. I wonder where they go from here. I'll be interested to see, so let me know what you think. And in the main event, we have for the AEW World Championship, we have MJF taking on and defeating Adam Cole, getting a victory in 29 minutes right here. This match is not the best wrestling match of all time. It's not the greatest. It's not going to have the most high spots. It doesn't have all that. But I will tell you that it essentially is what pro wrestling is about. Pro wrestling are about the stories. And these guys told an amazing story right here. Not just with the moves they did, but just the mannerisms, how they look, the words they would say, this how they would look when something would happen right here. These guys told them, they went out there on the canvas and they just painted art. Bro, I got to give them their credit. As critical as I am on MJF, get the devil's due. He did pretty fucking well tonight. So did Adam Cole, man. I got to take my hat off to both guys. Neither one of these guys turned on each other. They actually embraced after the match. It was a big hug, a lot of confetti coming down. So the fans are ready for a babyface MJF. I think it's time. Like, you can be a heel, and it's cool to be the edgy heel and, cut people down. You can still do that as a babyface too, because it's 2023. Babyfaces are different than what they are in 1985. So overall, after that long-winded diatribe by me, so appreciate you if you stayed the whole time. My thoughts on All In 2023. I thought it was a successful venture for AEW. If I had to rank it on a numerical scale, I would say maybe 8.5, 9 out of 10. I'm going to say maybe 8.5. I'm going to say 8.5. It wasn't the greatest wrestling show of all time. Definitely wasn't the worst, but it's more closer to one of the greatest than it was the worst. So, excuse me. Will I be back covering more AEW weekly, guys? I'm not so sure. You do be busy during the week, and covering that much wrestling is watching as much stuff as I do, because I watch stuff outside of this, covering it on the channel. Watch a lot of MMA and everything like that. Watch a lot of other sports. It's kind of hard, but big shows, I think I might start doing them, because damn it is pro wrestling. So if LK ain't here doing it, I think I'll be here to do it, guys. And I appreciate whoever does. I appreciate y'all checking us out, man. So SOS Wrestle Talk signing off. I swerve when I drive. God damn it, man. Pro Wrestling Fly Guy, Bluntzy United, Stardust Shiyaku, all them monikers, all them nicknames. That's me. So I'm going to holler at all y'all later. Tell me what you thought of the show down in the comment section below, please and thank you. And talk to y'all later.